It has been a while since I've watched any anime whatsoever. I've mostly been reading manga for a few months. So getting into Overlord, finally watching an anime in general, I've been having a lot of fun. And I kind of just want to talk about the first 3 seasons since I just finished them. Now, in season 1 of Overlord, obviously it has a different setting to most isekai. Ains is a art momanga, or I forgot his name at the start. It was like something like momanga. I'm gonna just call him Ains. Ains, he's an undead, which is obviously a pretty unique thing to do for your protagonist. And he's kind of like this evil villain type of character. At least that's what everyone around him thinks he is. But Overlord kind of starts out as your generic isekai a little bit, besides Ains being a skeleton. Ains, he gets trapped in the game he's playing, and then he gets transported to another world with his subordinates, the floor masters or whatever, which is also pretty interesting because usually with isekai, the characters and stuff would usually, when someone gets transported into a game or something, they'll know that game inside and out. But he gets transported away from the game he was originally playing in into another world outside of the game, which is pretty cool to see. It makes things a lot more interesting because it kind of has a bit of higher stakes, because Ains, he has no idea what waits for him out in this new world he's exploring. I feel like if he stayed in the game world that he was originally playing in, then just being transported to that world, it'd be a lot easier for him to, just live his life and stuff. But we also get introduced to his subordinates. There's the floor masters, there's Albedo, Demiurge, the twin elves, who else? Chaltier, I forgot the warrior guy's name. The big blue guy. Cocutus. Okay, that's his name. There's Cocutus, and then there's Sabus and the maids and stuff. So yeah, we get introduced to all of them, and Ains, he makes sure that they're loyal to him and that they didn't try and rebel against him, because who knows what will happen. He just got transported to a new world, and it's pretty crazy. So yeah, Ains just confirms his subordinates' loyalty, and then after that, we kind of start to explore the world a little bit. Ains, I kind of forgot what happened in season 1, but I remember that Ains, he saved a village, a village from thieves or whatever. He helped out some knights. But then after that, I'm pretty sure we see a little bit of the kingdom. But I remember one of the other major events in season 1 was near the end, where Chaltier, she got put under mind control, and so Ains, he had to kill Chaltier and revive her. So that was pretty crazy. That's pretty much all I remember about season 1. Yeah, honestly, at the start, it was pretty boring, and I wasn't too hooked in season 1, but I still watched it anyways. I thought it was interesting, but at the start, it was kind of boring, and it didn't really grab my attention. Overlord, it has some different elements from any other isekai out there, so yeah, that's really what kept my attention throughout season 1, just how different it is from every other isekai. The unique setting with Ains being an undead and having demons and stuff as his servants and subordinates. It's a little bit of a break from every isekai that has the same hero protagonist, so a little bit of relief. But that leads us to season 2. Now, season 2, I enjoyed season 2 a bit more than season 1. Pretty much in season 1, Ains was testing out the waters and stuff, seeing what the world outside that he just got teleported to is like, and exploring the world a little bit, but not taking any risks. So yeah, it was a bit boring and fights and stuff besides the Chaltier stuff. But yeah, there wasn't really too much going on outside of Nazarick and stuff. But in season 2, I'm pretty sure this is the season where we see the lizards, the lizard men, and Ains, he starts to get a little bit more comfortable exploring the world. Obviously, he is still scared about, Chaltier being put under mind control, so that's a bit scary. But Ains, he goes, subjugates the lizardmen using Cocytus, and you really get to see Ains trying to push his subordinates and stuff, like, Cocytus and Demiurge, mainly Cocytus, to kind of grow and think for themselves and not just obey blindly with everything that Ains does and says. So yeah, that's also pretty interesting. And also, that kind of reminds me of something. Going back to season 1, really one of the other reasons why I was interested in season 1 was because Ains, he's this big, bad, scary skeleton guy. But really, on the inside, we get to see his thoughts and stuff and what he's truly thinking. And he's scared of being a ruler and scared of being evil and stuff. So I thought that was also something that really kept my attention throughout season 1. So yeah, that was also pretty interesting. But in season 2, apart from the lizardmen, I guess really the only thing that really stood out to me, Brain and Chaltier, the blue-haired warrior guy, he gets completely outclassed by Chaltier, and it was kind of nice to see. It wasn't nice to see, but it just gave the story a little bit something more interesting, because so far all we've seen is like people being overpowered. But after he gets outclassed, he kind of gets depressed, and then later in the season, he trains a bit more, and he wants to face Chaltier again, even though at first he found it very hopeless. After he met with Climb, a new warrior, or not a new warrior, the princess's guard. But after he meets with Climb and the chief warrior, I can't remember his name, he finally he's able to take off the pinky nail off of Chaltier near the end of the season. So like that development, it's honestly kind of cool to see, because I felt like in the second season, the main focus was really put on the kingdom and Climb and Brain. So seeing some development other than Ains and, with a normal NPC of the world, it was cool to see. Definitely grabbed more of my attention, and I'd say I kind of liked the second season. It was nice. Really kept me wanting more of what Brain's development is going to be like in the future. So yeah, I really liked that part. And also Sebas, or the head butler, he saves a girl after he kind of sees the situation with Cocytus and stuff about thinking for yourself. But then Ains finds out about this and kind of almost made Sebas kill this new girl that entered into the story. But then Sebas proves his loyalty, and Ains says that the girl he saved can work in Nazareth. So that was also pretty interesting. You get to see another NPC grow. Ains, although the floor masters and stuff, his subordinates, obey literally every word he says, they still are growing without his help a little bit. So, well, I mean, kind of with his help, but they're growing nonetheless, even if it's only a little bit. Honestly, season 2, with the whole lizardman thing at the start, it felt very, kind of not fast paced, but it was very intense at the start of season 2, and then it kind of got a little bit boring near the end of season 2. I mean, Mamone, I'm pretty sure this season 2 was where Mamone gets introduced. Ains, he goes undercover as an adventurer and stuff, and defeats the new demon guy, who is actually Demiurge, in a plot to, make Mamone a very good adventurer. But now that I think about it, I'm pretty sure Mamone got introduced in season 1 with Chaltier and all that. So I kind of remember a bit more of season 1 now. Oh my gosh, how could I forget season 1? One of the most satisfying parts of season 1. Mamone versus Clementine. Now that was satisfying. First we see Mamone with this group of adventurers. We get introduced to them. Although Ains, he doesn't really feel that much connection with them. We, as an audience, I kind of feel like we kind of saw these adventurers and their dreams and stuff, and well, maybe not their dreams, not that personal, but we kind of felt sentimental about this small group of adventurers that we just met. And then they get killed off by Clementine, the orange-haired girl. So seeing Ains be absolutely ruthless with her was very, very satisfying. I almost forgot about that part for some reason. It's one of my favorite parts in Overlord so far. But going back to season 2, Ains, after he subjugates the lizardmen, it kind of felt a bit stale for me after that because it was just so intense. So then we move on to season 3. And season 3, first off, season 1, season 2, although Ains subjugated the lizardmen, defeated Clementine, he never really showed his true power, his true potential, and he was being pretty secretive about it. He had good reason to, because there's probably other players outside that also got transported from the game he was in, Giselle. I'm pretty sure that was the game he was playing in. But yeah, there's probably other players from Giselle out in the world. At least that's the reason Ains is being so cautious about using his powers. So in season 3, it was interesting seeing Carne Village and stuff, and with the goblins and Henry ruling over the goblin village, being a chief and using goblins to help her with ruling over a village and stuff. It was pretty interesting. I was liking it, but oh my gosh, near the end of season 3, Ains just lets loose. Near the end of season 3, he takes out, first off, he makes a ruler or an emperor of a kingdom or whatever. He kind of subjugates an emperor of another kingdom just by showing off how powerful he is and not even using his power to the fullest of his ability. So that was pretty cool. But at the end of season 3, when he takes on a whole army by himself, man, oh man, it's crazy. Season 3 might be my favorite season so far. Or no, it is my favorite season so far. Seeing Ains just take out a freaking army using one spell. It's amazing. It really left an impact. It really did. But also seeing Henry, when she was in trouble, she used an item that's only supposed to summon very low-level goblins, but she summons a 5,000 goblin army to her aid. So that was also pretty interesting. And obviously they wipe out the army that was opposing them. That was also another interesting part, but I don't know. It's just that Ains killing 70,000 people was definitely crazy. Had a huge impact. In season 3, it truly feels like Ains has become the supreme sorcerer of the land, because I kind of noticed that we haven't really been seeing a whole lot of internal monologue. I don't even know if that's the correct way to say it, but basically we don't really see Ains thinking to himself. We only see what's going on the outside, and it just feels scary because you kind of get this feeling that Ains is really becoming an evil leader that's capable of killing a whole bunch of people, and he did, but without showing any remorse or anything. And he keeps on saying that his feelings and stuff, it doesn't really matter to him if humans die. So yeah, season 3, it just shows how powerful and scary Ains is in this world when he's actually not afraid of using his powers and using his magic and stuff. So it kind of just cements him as the leader of Nazareth and kind of builds him up as hella crazy, the most powerful being in this new world. But we also see Ains after straight up massacring an entire army. He also duels off with one of the chief head warriors of the kingdom he is facing. And then he pulls he pulls the world or whatever, and stops time and takes out the chief head warrior instantly, because he stops time and takes him out immediately. He just strolls over to him while time is stopped and takes him out. But then that leaves Climb, the little adventurer guy, and also Brain. And I'm really interested to see how their development goes in season 4, because Brain, he got defeated by Chaltier once and completely outclassed. but he's been regaining his confidence a little bit, even if it's only a tiny little fingernail bit, because you know he took out the fingernail of Chaltier after he faced her again, and that kind of gave him a little bit of hope for the future that he's able to face, you know, very challenging stuff with, even if he's not up to their level. So yeah, I'm really interested in seeing Climb's and mainly Brain's development in season 4. But there's also the whole stuff with Climb and the princess he's been guarding ever since he got picked up by her, Princess Rainier. And we've already seen that she's kind of like a sadist and wants to lock away Climb in a dungeon or something and torture him probably. So that's also, that might come out in season 4. So I also want to see what that's about. Yeah, I guess that's really the end of season 3, at least with what I've seen of it, and mainly what I thought was interesting with season 3. Definitely my favorite season of Overlord so far. But season 4, I just watched episode 1, and we're finally back to actually having some internal dialogue, or seeing Ains actually thinking to himself. We finally get to see the old Ains doubting himself a little bit. It kind of feels like even after he killed a whole bunch of people, he hasn't lost his humanity. That's what I'm trying to say. And now he's ruling over the kingdom he took out, so that's also kind of crazy. And he's doing stuff with the Adventurers Guild, trying to make an Adventurers Guild like maybe in his old world, how it was. I'm not too sure how that's gonna work. But he also says in the first episode of season 4 that he wants to be more he wants to show mercy to the people he's ruling over. I thought that was kind of a good answer to his subordinates and stuff, because so far his subordinates, Albedo, Demiurge, Cocytus, the elf twins, they all look up to him. They all think that everything he does is part of his meticulous plan. He has everything planned out and everything will go his way. But really, we all know that Ains is kind of fooling everybody into making him think he's a great... I mean, he is a great leader. I don't think there's any doubt about that. It's just he doesn't have all the plans that everyone thinks he does. So I'm really interested to see what happens in season 4 with Brain and Climb, and also Ains, not only Ains' development and how he rules over the city and the kingdom he has under him, but also his subordinates, Albedo, Demiurge, Chaltier, the Dark Elves, and Cocytus, seeing how if they show any development, because you know they hate humans, they think they're an inferior species. So I'm kind of interested to see if something will change with that situation. I've really enjoyed Overlord so far. The first 2 seasons, not a lot happened. I mean, well, there was a bit of stuff that happened. Like, I kind of felt like dropping it a little bit at some parts because, you know, I was a little bit bored. But in season 3, I definitely am sticking with Overlord now, because season 3 is just crazy. And seeing Ains go from, he gets transported into a world and with people thinking he's the supreme being, and he has to live up to those expectations. So seeing Ains trying his best to be a role model and, you know, being a leader and living up to his subordinates' expectations, it's a very interesting journey, and I'm really enjoying it so far. But apart from that, I think I'm gonna go watch Overlord season 4 now. As I'm recording this, there's only 9 episodes out. I've already watched episode 1, so Overlord, I'm really liking it, and I'm definitely gonna binge these 9 episodes of season 4 very quickly, and, you know, review them and see what's going on, get caught up, so I could not only review all 9 episodes, but also the new episodes that are coming out, because I kind of want to involve myself in the fandom a little bit, see what's going on, because I've never really watched Overlord, read Overlord, or anything, so yeah, this is my first time with Overlord. So far, I'm liking its different like qualities, Ains having to live up to expectations, having to become a leader, seeing how Ains' kingdom develops, and also how the NPCs of the world develop. It's gonna be interesting. But other than that, I'm really liking Overlord. I've already said it a few times. Anyways, I guess I'll see you in the next video. Yeah, until then, peace.